Hi, this is IK. Welcome to entire code React Redux application in one page. What is that page? This is index.js. Index.js has entire all code of our React Redux application. We program store, here it is, store. With store, here coming post slice. App component, there is a two child, add new post component and post list component. It is here, all is here. And it's all. Let's see add post form. It is here, add post form in app. Post list here in app. App.js is app.js base component. Post slice is in store, import in store. Update post form. Update post form is import in post list. Is import in post list. And post list is on the app. And with the import, what we need, import React, create a root, take care. We import create root from React DOM client provider. We import provider from React Redux. It means that from package React Redux, we import provider. But also in that React Redux, there is a use selector hook. There is use dispatch hook. And it means that we import only what we need. Here, we will have use on this page exist use selector and use dispatch, but here in application in component post post list, in component post list we have, because in post list import use selector and use dispatch. Look at post list, post list, post list, import use selector and use dispatch. Repeat, all code is in this one file, index.js. And now we can compare situation when you can imagine that all code now I copy here in index.js. It would be one file with all code, and we see that in that page. But and compare it with a situation like that, where we all entire application coding on separate file, and we better understand structure, architecture, and of course, if we better understand fast learning and maintenance is okay. Sometimes in procedural programming, it was all program was one file. but of course, it was very long, and always exists some kind of include and include. But it is interesting for imagine that what is a React Redux application? What to do? We look at here. It is like look forest and don't look in the existing tree, in every tree, but we look at in forest. And back, this is app.js. We have two components here. Back to index.js. And when execution finished here, in this point, we see that moment, we see application ready for work, It means execution, processing, start from import React from first row, first statement, and get down, and when coming here, our application is on the screen ready to be used. But here is we must very important. We must stop in one moment to divide this process in two parts. First part is this one. In this one. Again. Provider store. In this moment, when we record movie and stop here, in this moment we have Redux complete with store and with reducer in that store. Reducer, there is a state, output state. What is it? It is initial state from post slice. Initial state, and there is no action. In input there is a copy of that initial state, and nothing for action. There is no action because there is no our interaction. Stop program here. Provider is connected. Provider connected React Redux. What it means? It means that use selector and use dispatch is ready, but this moment they didn't in function. They ready to be in function, but they didn't in function because use selector and use dispatch go first time in movie. Start here and in post list. Use a selector, connect state from reducer, from Redux, connect state with state post in a post list. Connect, and when changes state in reducer in Redux store, immediately changes state post in post list. It is use selector function role, and when we add a new post, when we click add, we activate dispatch, or when we first initial rendering, when we initial rendering a post list, with that moment we have use selector and use dispatch, use dispatch ready for use, and use selector is in function. Use selector connect after initial rendering of post list. Use selector connect state. It is initial state. Post empty array of post. Idle status idle and error null. That post state post would be also local state post on post list. But again, use selector and use dispatch ready and ready here after concretely after rendering child of app, rendering post component post list. But this moment exists reducer, Redux store reducer, exists reducer and provider is connected with the React application, but React application start rendered here, and after rendered of React application we are here in this point, and process complete entire React Redux application is we can say the initial rendered, initial processed, initial processed, and we are ready for interaction with our React application. Because of that, is very important understand this index.js code. Who called index.js? Called index.html, and it is too big moment. Index.html first loaded, after loaded in memory document object model, called index.js. And what coming with index.js, what loaded, what coming entire application, React Redux application, entire, complete, all. And and what is entire React Redux application in this? It is this part when we have Redux and React connected. This store is important. It is store is a principal object of Redux. Inside store we have reducer. That reducer, there is an initial state, and when we stop here it is situation. But when we rendered app complete, we have use selector and use dispatch, and it is that moment is complete and ready for use React Redux application. Use selector immediately change state in post list with as a changes state in reducer, and use dispatch hook apply dispatch to store every hour action. add new post, etc. Add new post, update post, delete post, read post, etc. It's all crude. Create, read, update, delete. Dispatch, use a selector, and use a selector would be activate in initial rendering of post list, and use dispatch would be activate first time when after initial rendering of post list, event was mounted, component was mounted, activate use effect, and that moment would be called dispatch first time, and that dispatch, because of that dispatch, we have two more dispatch action. It is pending type and fulfilled type, if all is okay. It means that post list, there is a 3 times rendered. Initial rendering, when see initial state from store, from reducer. After that, by a use effect, activation of use effect, activate dispatch tank, and tank send dispatch action type pending and action type fulfilled. It means that we have 3 times rendered post list component. Let's see that rendering. Here we are. On the app.js, at first, always first rendered child component. Add post form, there is a child, post list and add post form. Add post form rendered only initial rendered because there is no use effect and nothing as that. But the post list here is rendered, and after that I add post form, post list rendered, the app.js rendered. When child rendered, after that rendered complete app.js. But don't be confused that now that it is not in order right here, in order console log, like in real, because re-rendered happened when we have asynchron request, like here. That asynchron request means that re-rendered would be aggregate in bench and execute parallel or after not would be linear in console log, and that we must know about that. And now, because real execution, we see here component. It is a React tool, React dev tool. You import in browser. Look at here. It is very important tab. How many tabs? We have at first provider who connect React Redux. And inside of provider we have app.js base component React application. And look at little tab in right. App, there is a child add post and post list. And execute add post, and post list, there is a child post excerpt. And must be post excerpt is component for one post. And in this situation we have 4 posts. And post excerpt, it is map. Map method execution on array post. And every post need re-rendered post excerpt. Post excerpt is one post, and we have 4 posts. Here it is left side visible. But this tab to right, we see what is child, what is parent, and child execute first. And here is visible in one acceptable kind. And post excerpt 4 times. There is no how many rendered post list. It is a console. In console we see that 3 times rendering post list. First time is initial, when array is initial rendered. When use selector give initial state in post list, because initial state exists when start rendering of post list. Exists here in post slice. Here is. What is post slice? Post slice is reducer. Here is store. Here is a post slice. Post slice is post reducer. And index.js here call store. It means by configuration file store coming post slice reducer, coming initial state, and all that is exists after executed this part of code. When start rendering of post list, in Redux exists initial state, and the user selector give post list initial state for post, local post, local variable post. Here it is, post list, post list. Here is post list, object post, state post. Here is use selector, and with the select all post coming post, array post. Also other, it is status coming status, and error coming error. It is a state from reducer. It is initial state. Status here, status would be idle. Let's see that. Here it is, idle. Error null. And array null. It is initial state. After that, use effect and dispatch tank, we have pending type, and on the post list, instead of post list, in position of post list, we see loading, error null, and array post empty, because we are in phase of pending. It is waiting that our asynchronous request finished. When asynchronous, and in that time we show on post list, we show loading, animation or static text. And when process of pending, waiting, finished, we have reject and fulfilled. Here we have fulfilled, and it means status changes to succeeded, and error is null again, and array there is 4. And after that, here in order we see the post excerpt rendering 4 times. Here is 4 times. It is we have 4 post, but we know now that post excerpt rendered execute first, but also must happen reason for this rendering and post excerpt, and that reason is on the post list. It is a state of post. There is a 4 post, and that is a reason that post excerpt received first post, that post excerpt can be rendered, because this 4 post or post array go in a map, and through method map of post we have like loop, isolate first post, and after that, with that first post, go in post excerpt input value. This formatting in post excerpt, and it is first post in list. After that, second post, and second post go like parameter in arrow function, and post excerpt have a new post, and it is reason for a re-rendered post excerpt. After re-rendered post excerpt, we have second post, and like that third post and fourth post list. And here it is the post excerpt rendered. We see that when we said child component rendered first, okay, it is true, because if it wasn't like that, we don't see post on the screen. Post list show post on the screen. But if we want that post list show post, we must render it that post and render it. But post cannot be rendered without a post, and post go to parent post list, and only parent can send to child. From parent to child, it is data flow down, can go post by post, and it is props posts of post list is props for child, for post excerpt, and post list must have a post state full of post, it is array, and child go through like loop through map in rendering in 4 times in this situation. Post list. Here is a post list. Here, user selector. I like to see this. But here is posts, and nothing is clear. I don't need to go in a post slice and show post slice and show this declaration of select all posts that is this state. But I now directly this include and I don't need this now here. Back to post list. Here it is. That is same here, same for status, and same for error. Post status error, and we look at it in console. Okay, it is in a moment when I change this code. Okay, here it is, and it means that post is array 0. It is empty post in first initial rendering, and idle status idle error null. In second time is loading null and empty array. It is pending type of action, and fulfilled give us a succeeded status, and post and for post in our, and that moment when we have post state like props, it go to post excerpt, and by map method of array post we have something like loop. Post excerpt by post excerpt was rendered 4 times, and after this process of rendering 4 times post excerpt, that moment we finished rendered post list parent. That moment finished parent, and parent there is 4 post. When post 4 post rendered, parents post list, there is something to show on the screen. Okay, when I talk about that detail, I can say again that post excerpt is component what we can save in separate file, but it is here only because only here we need that. But why we created separate component for every post, and post list give job only to look at only to show post excerpt, only to show post excerpt, because of rules, solid rules, design of application, solid construction design of application, principle of coding application. And first principle is separate by concern. Separate by concern. It means that we here separate by task, by job. Post excerpt is separate for one post. Every post would be designed and structured. It is component for one post, and post list is component for a map that post, array post, map that array post, and that solid separation, that first rule, first principle is separation by concern, separation by topic, by goals. And of course it is better for maintenance, better for learning, for sustainability of application, etc. Okay, it's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video.